Well, we're leaving here, so not for good. We are taking off for Thanksgiving and going up to visit my parents. It's been about 6 years since we went to visit my parents for a holiday. Last time was Thanksgiving in 2016. I guess it's been 7 years, not 6 years. So we typically don't go visit for Christmas. My parents still live where I grew up in upstate New York, and if you have ever been up there, you know the winters are usually pretty crappy, so we try not to travel to that area in the winter just due to the snow. So this year, instead of staying down here by ourselves, we decided to drive up there. So with that said, we're going to be gone for 5 days. We have 2 pigs still, and we have 30 some chickens, so we have to make sure that they're going to be able to make it for 5 days while we're gone. We're going to leave on Thanksgiving Day so that we don't have to worry about traffic. With Wednesday is usually a pretty busy day, so we decided not to go on Wednesday. It's about a 12 and a half hour drive for us to get up there. So we're gonna leave first thing. We usually leave 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning on the day we leave. This will be the second time we've driven up there. That way we get there at a decent hour, because we're gonna have to stop with the baby, and that way she's still sleeping when we leave. So we leave super early in the morning. We did just move the pigs a few days ago, so we're not moving them today, but we will need to move them the day that we come back. So I want to get their paddocks set up and ready to go so that I don't have to do it when I come back. So they are going. I guess Maple thought that was a better angle down on the ground. So the pigs, like I said, I just moved them, but I want their paddock to be ready for when I get back so that I don't have to set it up in the morning when I get back. And as far as feed for the pigs, they should be fine. I can fill up that big feeder that I have, and it should have hopefully enough feed for them for 5 days. So that thing will hold about 250 pounds of feed. They run low. There's plenty of stuff to eat in the paddock, and we are planning to start limiting them when we come back due to wanting to breed them. So we are on the hunt for a boar to breed the girls. So if anybody has a lead on a boar, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Their water usually lasts them the whole 12 days that they're in a paddock. So again, I'm not worried about that. Also, their water tank is black, so that'll heat up during the day, and I won't have to worry about freezing for that. Unfortunately, the weather was calling for it to be pretty cold when we're gone. Hopefully that changes. So it was supposed to be, early predictions were down in the low 20s, which we were kind of worried about. Some of the animals, not so much the pigs, they got plenty of insulation, more the chickens and their water, but now it's saying lows in the low 30s, so that should be totally fine for all the animals. I'll fill up the pig water right before we leave. I'll fill up the pig water Wednesday. I am going to put their shelter back in. And with that, they should be good to go. The pigs don't need much, so fill up their feed, fill up their water on Wednesday before we leave. It's the chickens that are going to be a little bit harder. So we do still have some hawk pressure, so I have to figure out something, because I need to give them a bigger paddock for when we're gone, because I'm not going to be able to move them. So I got to figure out something that will kind of distract the hawks on a bigger scale. The birds are getting bigger, so hopefully we're almost through that. I don't think the hawks are going to go after a full-size bird around here, but I guess we'll find out. So I'm at the end of my net down there, so I need a mow to give us room to put the other net. So I'll grab the mower and I'll do that now. We didn't get anything done yesterday. We got like an inch of rain, so was not able to work outside. Today we got to finish up because we're leaving in the morning. So I'm going to set up this chicken net, and I did come up with an idea on how to prevent or hope to prevent hawks from getting the chickens while we're gone. So I'll get this net set up, and then I'll try to put together my idea and see if that works. All right, got it up, but I ended up one panel short here. But I do have a gate, so I'm just gonna take that gate. I think it's 7 feet, so that should close that gap. And then this is a little bit bigger paddock. It's one net length wider than it usually is for them. So hopefully it's enough for 7 days, or 5 days, not 7 days. But I am gonna put some hay underneath the coop. That way all their poop doesn't go in just one area. Then I can take that and either compost it or spread it somewhere else. But now we'll get my idea and start working on setting that up. Okay, so my idea here is to make an A-frame out of these two pieces of the dog kennel, and then I'm going to put a tarp over it, and that'll give them some more covered space. and then hopefully just take up space so a hawk won't come down in here. And then I have the other tarp that I'll hang off the back of the chickshaw, and then that should wave in the wind a little bit and hopefully deter back there, and then I'll put the chickshaw right in the middle. So the tarp has been working pretty well in that size paddock. It's real narrow though, so there's not a lot of room on the sides for a hawk to get in. And when the hawk got the last one over by the driveway, it's when I did a little bit wider of a paddock. So hopefully this works. We'll throw this together and then we'll see how it looks. I don't know if that'll pick up on camera, but it's raining now, of course, right when I try to come out and do stuff. But the tarp's keeping me dry under here. So I do have to add down on the bottom there to hold it in from collapsing down like this. I'm just gonna add a couple stakes, 2 stakes on each side. That'll hold it up. It's not the end of the world if it falls, but it's probably a problem if there's chickens underneath it. So I'm going to put the stakes on, then I'm going to get their other water, put that in here, and I think I'm going to get a 4-foot trough feeder, the same one we used for the meat birds, and put that in here so they have a little bit extra feed. I don't think they're going to go through that 50-pound thing of feed that they have, but I'll give them a little bit extra just in case. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to film that because of the weather, so we will pick it up if the rain stops. Of course, as soon as I finish everything, the rain stops, but got it all done. So I got stakes in on the sides, both sides, got the tarp on, got some hay. I'll park the chickshaw right on top. I'll fill up their feed. They're going after the grit that I just filled up. I'll fill up that water in their feed as soon as I move them tonight. Once they go in, it gets dark out, I'll move them to the next paddock. I got the battery switched over from the pigs. I tried charging the other one for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever it was, and it didn't charge. So it still stayed the same. So I think it's got a dead cell or something in it, so I have to wait for the new one to come in, but that one will be fine for the chickens. Pig shelter is in. Pigs are nice and dry inside of there. Put some hay in there. Pigs are also loving that rain. They're rooting up like crazy in this paddock, but that'll be good for them. Got their feed completely full to the top. I'll come out here in the morning right before we leave and fill it up again. But here you can see the work they've been doing, pulling up these tubers and roots, digging down, so that'll be good. Hopefully none of these brambles will grow back. But I think we are ready to go. So now we just gotta pack up the car and we'll be out of here first thing in the morning. Well, we were at my brother's house today. We enjoyed our Thanksgiving yesterday, and we're out here taking a look at his chicken run and chicken coop. So he just took his old, had an old swing set at the house that he bought, and he just boxed it in, added a run on the front. Looks like automatic coop door. He's got a run off to the other side on the swing set side. How many birds you got in here?
Oh, I've got 9. I've got 8 layers and a rooster.
What kind are they?
Dominiques and Buff Orpingtons.
How long have you had them?
First week of June.
Is that 5 months?
It's 24 weeks, I believe, as of this coming week.
And why did you get chickens?
Bought the house, wanted to start raising my own food. Wanted eggs, wanted layers. So I figured I'd give it a shot. Started with 12, and I did lose 3, unfortunately, and then 1 became a rooster. So.
Well, we got back last night, and it was about 3:30 or so. So we checked on the animals, and then we kind of just hung out inside. Didn't really film yesterday. It was a long day. We left at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's up at just after 2. So a little tired yesterday, but we checked everything. All the animals went well, or everything with the animals went well. The pigs still had plenty of feed left. That feeder was probably only halfway full. Their water, that was more than halfway full. They still had hay inside of their shelter. The chickens ate all of the feed that was in the trough, but they still had over 3/4 of the feed in the gravity feeder that they have. They drank 1 water, the other water was completely full, and then they ate quite a bit of grit. They didn't do too much damage to the paddock, being there 5 days. None of them got out. That battery that was dying was still hitting when I got back yesterday. It's still actually hitting today, but the new battery did show up yesterday. It was here when we got here, so I'll get that one installed. The pigs need to move. They're ready to go. It's cold out this morning, so everything kind of froze over. It's like 28. So tomorrow is supposed to be a little bit colder. I think it's supposed to get down to like 18 overnight. So I'm gonna open up the net, get the pigs moved, get their shelter in, and then I will try to move their water, keeping it full because the hoses are froze. So it'll be this afternoon before I can fill it up. So I'm gonna use a dolly, and I'll try to move their water with it 3/4 of the way full. If I can't, I can't. They'll be fine without water for a little bit because it's cold out. So get the net open and we'll go from there. Well, I guess they were ready to move. Didn't even have to put feed in, and they both just walked right in. So we'll work on getting the other stuff put in there now. Came across an issue. Actually, we found 2 issues. One happened last night and one happened when we were gone. So the regulator inside our camper is bad. We got home yesterday, and this piece here was leaking propane out of the vent. So we ended up going through the whole 100-pound tank and a 20-pound tank in 5 days because we filled them up right before we left. So it was definitely leaking most of the time we were gone. And then the other issue we found this morning is our heated hose for the RV is leaking. So I called, got the warranty claim in. They should be sending a new one, but when I turn it on, you can see it's pouring out there. So somewhere in the sleeve there is a hole, which is supposed to get down to in the teens tonight. So we're just gonna have to limit our water because our freshwater tank in the RV is still winterized. We've never used that. We don't plan on using it because we're so close to the water. So we'll have to deal with that. But I guess those are the issues we had. I know it's a little bit different of a video, but we were concerned about leaving for 5 days and how the animals would do. So if that's something that you're doing, hopefully this video helped out. There was no issues. We could have probably been gone for a couple more days, and the pigs and the chickens would not have had a problem. Our RV would have been out of propane. That would have been a different problem. But that's where we're in this video. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video.